Canada, the impact of regionalism. Canada is a huge country with many diverse regions. What are some of Canada's regions and how are they different?
From its Arctic north to its sandy beaches, from its rural towns to its busy cities, from its native cultures to its proud French minority, Canada is a diverse country of unique peoples and places. Canada's vast landscape was settled about 12,000 years ago, most likely by peoples who had migrated there from Northeast Asia. The first Europeans arrived around AD 1000, led by the Viking explorer Leif Erikson. By the 1700s, France and Great Britain had the strongest presence in the new land and spent much of the century at war for control of it. Britain was eventually victorious, but some 80,000 French Canadians remained. Eventually, Canada became a country with 10 provinces and 3 territories. Along Canada's Atlantic coast are the 4 eastern provinces: Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia. The region known as the Heartland has 2 provinces, Quebec and Ontario, which is home to Canada's capital, Ottawa. Canada's 4 western provinces are Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and on the western side of the Rocky Mountains, British Columbia. The territories located in the area known as the Canadian North are the Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and Yukon Territory. Together, these provinces and territories make up the largest country in the Western Hemisphere. But despite its tremendous size, Canada does not have a huge population. With a population of 32 million, Canada ranks 35th in the world. Canada's people are of many different backgrounds and cultures and often speak different languages, which makes creating a single national identity challenging. Questions like, what is a Canadian and what is Canadian culture, can be difficult to answer. Another result of Canada's diversity is that there's a strong sense of regionalism in some parts of the country. This means that some Canadian citizens feel more loyal to their region than to the nation as a whole. A look at the country's 2 heartland provinces, Ontario and Quebec, provides the best example of the impact of regionalism on Canada. Ontario has a lot in common with Britain. People speak English there, and its capital, Toronto, is a large modern city. Quebec, on the other hand, carefully preserves the French culture of the province's first settlers. French is the official language, street and other public signs must be in French, and most children in Quebec attend schools where instruction is in French. Throughout its history, Canada's authorities have worked to help protect Quebec's French traditions. Even so, some Québécois, as people from Quebec are called, have felt such a cultural distance from the rest of Canada that they have called for their province to secede and to establish their own country. The issue was voted on in 1980 and again in 1995. Both times, the motion for independence was defeated by a very slim margin. Another group in Canada that has guarded its culture and traditions is the Inuit. The Inuit are one of the country's native peoples. Most Inuit live in the Arctic tundra of the Canadian North. On April 1st, 1999, Canada officially created the territory of Nunavut out of the Northwest Territories. Nunavut is primarily inhabited and controlled by the Inuit, who have the freedom to govern the territory according to their tribal traditions.
Determine our own path.
Each of Canada's diverse cultures and regions has an impact on the country as a whole. But despite these differences, Canada remains a united country. Why do you think it was important to the people of Nunavut to have their own territory?